right. ආයිබෝවන් හැමෝටම. ඉතින් IMA අපි සංවිධානය කරන මේ මාස 6න් O level වැඩසටහනේම තවත් එක් කොටසක් තමයි model papers discuss කිරීම මේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක. ඉතින් අද අපි start කරන්න ඉන්නේ English medium paper එක. So those who may join in the previous weeks, we did the Sinhala medium paper, but this is another paper. This is not the same paper from the Sinhala medium classes which we did. So this is a different paper and different sort of questions, but by analyzing and assumption based, I have developed that paper. So make a basically මේ O levels වලට ඔයාලගේ cover වෙන්න ඕනේ පාඩම් සෑහෙන ප්‍රමාණයක් cover වෙන paper එකක්. So අවුරුදු දෙකේම ගත්තොත් එහෙම විෂය පාඩම් තියෙනවා 20 ගානක් විතර. ඒ 20 ගානෙම cover වෙන්න ඕනේ හැම පැත්තක්ම මේ paper එකේ cover වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් so today my target will be to complete the first part itself. So today session will be taking around 2 hours. So today my target is to complete the first paper as much as possible and also do some of the second part questions as well. So I kindly think that you might have taken the paper right now with you. So please follow with me. මොනවම හරි දෙයක් තිබ්බ ප්‍රශ්න තිබ්බොත් සිංහලෙන් හරි ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් හරි ඕන එකක් කමෙන්ට් සෙක්ෂන් එකේ දාන්න. paper එක කරගෙන යද්දී ඔයාලට ගැටලුවක් තිබ්බොත්. Right. Without wasting any time, we will start with our questions. Yes, so we will start with from the first part of this paper. So I hope the screen is visible for you all. Yes. So the first question is, Vidva deposited 6,000 rupees in a bank which pays 8% annual simple interest rate. How long after does he receive 1,440 rupees as the interest? So first of all, this is a common question in both in the first part and also basically in the second part as your first question. In the essay part, first question, there most probably will be this kind of a question. So in this also, it's the same kind of a typical question which we most probably will be having in this upcoming O levels as well. Vidva deposited 6,000 rupees in a bank. විද්ව කියන පුද්ගලයා එයා රුපියල් 6,000ක් බැංක් එක තැන්පත් කළා. Then which pays 8% annual simple interest rate. Annual rate එක ඇවිල්ලා 8% 8%. How long after does he receive 1,440 rupees as per the interest? Right, I will go to the whiteboard. Actually, it's this time it's not quite white, but it's blue. I think hope the screen is visible for you all. So the first thing which we identify is per year interest rate. We write down the interest rate. Per year interest rate, what's it? 8%. Then we have given that he deposited 6,000. So then what does this actually mean? 8% means. This is a simple thing you have to think about. So if I deposited 100 rupees, my yearly interest will be additional 8 rupees. So if I deposit 100 rupees, just a second. If I deposit 100 rupees, 8 rupees will be my interest per year. And if I deposit 6,000, how much it will be? So මේ වගේ වෙලාවට අපි පාවිච්චි කරන හරි සරල දෙයක් තියෙනවා මේ cross multiplication. එහෙමත් නැත්නම් හරස් ගුණිතය කියලා අපි සිංහලෙන් කියනවා. This cross multiplication will be really important in this kind of questions. So ඒක හිතන්න හරිම ලේසි. අපි මෙහෙම 100කින් රුපියල් 8ක් අපිට interest එකක් වෙනවා නම් out of 100 rupees, if it's 8 rupees is your interest, then out of 6,000 how much will it be? So basically then to find out that you have to do the cross multiplication. So 6,000 comes in and 8%. Or maybe you could think much more simply, out of 6,000, your just purely the interest will be 8% of that. So with was total interest. With was total interest will be 6,000. Out of 6,000, it will be 8%. So this is the way we write 8%. And then we need to solve this. Or you could see 0 to 0, you could deduct, and then 8 multiplied by 60. So it's 480 rupees. So better you write this, rupees 480. So that's the total yearly interest for Vidva. So the question says to be your interest rate 1,440. So that's the benchmark for you. That's the total interest of 1,440. To reach that, how many years he will take? So 480ක් කියන්නේ අවුරුද්දකට නම් 1440ක් වෙන්න අවුරුදු කීයක් යනවද? එතකොට අපි දාමු number of years. Years වෙන්නේ හරිම සරලයි. If it's for total your interest is 1,440, if your yearly interest is 480, you just divide 1,440 by 480. So you could see these are divided, 0 to 0 will deduct, and I could see 480 is actually divided by 12. So 4, 1, 2, and also this also further deduct for 3. So the answer is 3 years. Right? I think the board is visible for you. It's the answer for the first paper, first question. So if there is any questions, please ask from me, right? Is the color bit disturbing for you? I guess since this lighting and setup, this is the best lighting we could go. If it's white, it will be much more cluttered and stuff. So that's why we are going with this color. Hope it's okay. Right, we will move on to the next one. So the answer is 3 years for the first question. So you could see these questions like barely take even 2 minutes for this kind of question. So just read the question properly and answer accurately within a limited amount of time, because these questions actually this whole first two to 5 questions you have to target to finish at least within 5 minutes or so. So then you have much more time to much more concentrate on the harder questions. Much more hard questions. So then we will move on to the second question. The figure represents a square lamina. If the shape of a sector is cut out, find the perimeter of the remaining figure. So this is the figure we have. This is a square lamina, like which means it's a plane figure. So it's not a 3D figure, right? If the shape of a sector is cut out, so out of this square lamina, a circular or maybe a sector is cut out. So we will cut out and then find the perimeter of the remaining figure. So the remaining figure is this dark area. So this you could see like ash kind of color. That area is the remaining remaining item of that square once the sector is removed. So we will move on to the next one. So what are the stuff I have? I have this graph. Sorry. So what do I have is I have a square lamina, and it's a square, and I think one of the side is given as 14 centimeters, so which means all the sides are equal and it's the same length. And there is the other part, which is the circular sector. So the understanding of this is a simple thing, that this sector is quarter of a circle. Why is that? So how do we find an arc length of a sector? So this is what you call arc length, right? Which I have drawn here as in a circular shape. So as this is given a sector, so this is called the arc length of a circle, a certain arc length. So the arc length of a circle is actually arc length of a circle is calculated as first we have to see what's the total what do you call this angle of this sector. So it is 90 degrees. You could see that, right? 90 degrees out of what? 360. So total circle is 360 degrees. So multiplied by 2 phi r, your common 2 phi r. That's the way of finding particularly to this question. That's the way of finding the arc length. So if there is a common you don't know if it could be 90 or it could be the this angle might change, you could simply use you could memorize that equation as I will make this as A for understanding arc length. Arc length could be, if the circular part is theta, then theta by 360 multiplied by 2 phi r. So that's the basic equation for this. If you know this, then if you know this equation, then this whole question is done. So we have to find the perimeter, right? Not the area. So the perimeter. So we know how to find this arc length and what is the area we are looking forward to. I mean, what is the surface area we are looking forward to? This area, no? So which means at the end of the day, I have to find these lengths, these sides. This side we know 14 same all 14 centimeter, right? And this side is same 14 centimeter, and we know how to find this arc length. So the total perimeter, then I could come into an answer. Total perimeter will be this arc length. This arc length, we will write down that. 90 degrees divided by 360 multiplied by 2 phi r. We will add the numerical values for the letters in the next step. And then we know this length actually, that's given as a data in this question. So this is 14 centimeter and plus another 14 centimeter. So this all together, it's centimeters. We could write down here at the end also, even though if you calculate and write with the answer, you have to definitely write down the what is this centimeter or meter your measurement, measuring tool or measuring sector for that. So 90 divided by 360, it's 1 by 4 multiplied by 2. 5 in the start of the question paper, we have the question paper have given that 5 consider 5 as 22 by 7. So I will take down that, and r is, what's the r here? It's the same old 14 centimeters, and 14 plus 14 is 28. I have written down straight away as 28. So I could divide these numbers. So 7 here, 2, 7 gets rid of, and 4, and this one get rid of 11 and 2, and this 2 to 2 also get cancelled. So at the end 11 and 2 remains, which with a multiply. So it's, which means the end answer will be 22 plus 28, which is 28, 38, 48, 50 centimeters. So that's my answer. Right? Hope things got clear for you in this question. The takeaway from this question is the arc length. So if it's a common angle for that particular sector, if it's a theta, the arc length could be found out from this equation. Right? Okay, we will move on to the next question. I hope these questions are pretty much simple from the, the starting questions are pretty much simple for you. Right. Next question is, express x equals 10 to the power 0.4969 in log form, logarithm form. So I think you might have wrote down the question so far, so I will move on to the whiteboard. So what's our question in this? X equals x equals 10 to the power 0.4969. Right. So they're asking express this in log form. Simple, but for some, even myself included for this, we tend to make අමතක chance එක වැඩි. We cannot memorize this logarithms in a, maybe in a stress time, or maybe you, if once you have faced with some harder questions, you get tend to forget these kind of how to get this logarithm thing done. It's a basic thing, right? It's not only you, it's including me. So the thing I do is that I memorize one thing, which is that we just take a simple example. Now 2 to the power 3, we know the answer is 8, right? I just memorize a one log answer to develop every logarithm kind of questions. So in this, when just take an example, as an example, this 2 to the power 3 is equal to 8, right? So this 2 is actually called the base, right? The base. And this number 3 is called the index. There are some other names as well. Exponential, power, anything you could call any of those names. Power is a more common name for that. And the answer is we call simply the value or the answer, right? This is called the value, right? When we come into log form, we simply do is we write log, and this base actually come into the basement of the log. So there is a base here. This base itself comes into the base of this log. So palle hadam matter. He come into the base. So 2 comes to the base, and this 8 1 comes in front of the value, comes in front of the base, and equals the whole logarithm thing is to get the index as an answer, which is 3. So you could just memorize this kind of a small equation to solve this whole thing. So here the same thing we have to apply. So we know log. So here what's the base of this? The base of this is 10, right? 10. And what is my value? X. Then what do the logarithm just for these kind of equations? The index comes in front of the equation. Index will be your answer. So the equals 0.4969. So you guys all know this. When it's base 10, we could write like this as well. Log x equals 0.4969. This should be written, right? Because that's a simple theory part, but 1 mark is added for that part. So that's the basic logarithm. So the takeaway from this is the same old log. Right? If there's any questions, please ask. Rather, give me a comment in the comment section if there is any further clarification needed. Right? Shall we move on to the 4th one? I think this is clear, right? Okay. Find the value of x. So there are a lot of memes that find the value of x. You just circle the x around, and you pretend to think that is the answer. No. So that's a simple meme that I see in the recent past. So anyway, find the value of x. This is also simple. Mathematical terms are involved in this question as well. Geometrical terms. So anyway, I will give additionally going like more beyond to this question. So this is the graph which we have, and we have given this A, B, C, D, right? A, B, C, D. And there are some two lines crossed in those sides. And I think it's given as 114, this and 114. So I would like to cover a bit of a theory part of this. So this is actually a triangle, and these when there is small two lines crossed from only from two sides, it is called what is it called? Isosceles triangle, right? And there are actually three ways of triangles. If a triangle is a theory part, right? Those who have somewhat missed out this theory. So by this line crossing from the side means that these sides are equal. So in this triangle simply means that all the sides are equal, which we call equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle. And if only two sides are equal, we call isosceles triangle. And also there is another nice part as well, which we this is actually type of a triangle, you could say. This is called right angled sorry about that, angled triangle. So this is the thing that all those Pythagoras and trigonometry, all those sine, cos, tans are involved with this right angle triangle. So what's our question right now? This is the question, and you could see two sides are equal, which is this one. So when in a triangle two sides are equal, the thing that you should get onto your mind is that these angles also equal. ඒ කෝණත් සමාන වෙනවා. Right? පාද දෙකක් සමානයි නම් කෝණ දෙකක් සමානයි. If two sides are equal, if the two sides are equal, the angles which is down towards that lines, these angles get equal. Right? So in this question, simply we know that BCD is a straight line. BCD is a straight line. So because of that, we know BCA plus ACD equals 180. How did I got that one? In a straight line, the total angle is 180. Right? So we know that this ACD is equal to 114. So I will take the left side as BCA, and I will write down this as 180 minus ACD. So my ACD is 180 minus 140, which is, what's my value there? 20, 60, 66. 66 is this value. What is asked? The x. This is the x. Right? So this is 66. So I will just get rid of this part. I think, hope it's clear, right? 66, this angle. So these both angles are equal. Another thing we know that is, in a triangle, these angles are called interior angles, right? Interior means inside. No, in a house there are interiors. Likewise, in a triangle there is interior angles. All these interior angles, there are altogether three interior angles. The addition of all those angles is equal to 180 degrees. So which means when considering ABC triangle, then 180 degrees will be equal to 66. We have found out that, plus 66 plus x. So x will be equal to 180 minus 66 plus 6 is it's 132, which means 132, 140, 48, no? Right. That's the answer for x. Here, the takeaways are the types of triangles. In here, it's a isosceles triangle. So basically, two sides are equal, and there are some other triangles as well, which is one if the all three sides are equal, it's called equilateral. And also, if it's a right angle, if there is a right angle in your triangle, it's a right angled triangle. Simple thing. And then interior angles of a triangle, the addition of all the interior angles are 180 in a, sorry, 360, my bad. Sorry, 180, my bad, once again. 180 degrees, right? I was just got into my mind that exterior angles. So that's the thing, right? Okay. Shall we move to the next one? If there is any questions, please ask in your comment section. Find the LCM of the following algebraic terms: 3a squared, 9ab, 9ab, and ab cubed. So LCM, what does LCM stands for? You should know by now, right? LCM stands for least least common multiple, right? What does this really mean, right? If there are, like, you think, this is just an example, right? If you think, just think 2 and 3, you will be asking what is the LCM of 2 and 3, right? What is the least common multiple of it? If you multiply 2 and you just take multiples of 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. Likewise, you could derive on, right? Sorry. 8 likewise, right? So for 3, you could do 3, 6, 9. දෙවරක් චක් කරේ හරි තුන්වරක් චක් කරේ overthink කරන්න යන්න එපා, right? Make අපි LCM හොයනවා. If you are going to find the LCM of this, you could see that what is the common multiple, the least common multiple, right? So it should be common as well. So if we try to see what's the common thing between this, you could see 6, right? And also if I write down this 2, 10, 12 also, then you could see there is another one as well, which is common, 12, right? Likewise, there are common ones. But what is the least one? This actually 6. So 6 is the answer, right? That's for normal numbers. Likewise, the thing we do for this kind of thing is just, it's better if you don't feel this question, how to think like, just ignore it, just follow the steps. While I'm doing the steps, I'm going to explain as well for your further understanding. So either way, even you do not get through this, get this into your mind properly, but even though if you follow the steps, the marks will be given, right? Doesn't matter. කටපාඩම් කරගෙන ලිව්වත් කමක් නැහැ කියන එක කියන්නේ, right? හැබැයි ඒක නෙමෙයි වෙන්න ඕනේ. මම ස්ටෙප්ස් ටිකක් කියන්නම්. එතකොට අපිට තියෙනවා පද terms තුනක්. What are the three terms we have? 3a square, 9ab, ab cube. These are the three terms which we have, right? Sorry, no need to add these parts. Okay, so the thing we do is we expand this. අපි මේක විහිදුවා ලියනවා කියලා පොඩි කාලේ කරන්නේ. We expand this. And we try to write these numbers as a power of the smallest number. As an example, for 9, we could write it as this number 9 as 3 to the power 2. And we will go with the first one. So 3 multiplied by this is the same, a square. So 9 we could write down like this. අපිට තියෙන ඉලක්කම් අපි power එකක් විදිහට ලියා ගන්නවා. index එකක් දාලා මේ විදිහට ලියා ගන්නවා. හරි. එතකොට මේකේ ඒක එහෙම්ම වෙනවා. ඇයි? There is the simple the power is 1. ඒකනේ මේ a කියලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒක අපි ඒක එහෙම්ම ගන්නවා. ඊට පස්සේ b. Right? This is ab cube. ඒක එහෙමම ගන්නවා. ඊපස්සේ b තියෙනවා. b එකේ cube එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකත් අපි එහෙමම ගන්නවා. This is the first step you have to do. Secondly, you have to find out that what are the items in this. මොනවද මේ එතන මගේ මේ equation තුනේ තියෙන එකිනෙකට වෙනස් දත්තයන් මොනවද? data මොනවද? නැත්නම් ඉලක්කම් මොනවද? මෙතන ගත්තොත් එහෙම තියෙනවා 3, right? තුනේ index එක වෙනස්, but 3 තියෙනවා. a තියෙනවා. හැබැයි a ගෙත් indexes වෙනස් වෙනවා, power එක වෙනස් වෙනවා, a තියෙනවා. b තියෙනවා, b ගෙත් හැබැයි power එක වෙනස් වෙන තැන තියෙනවා. එහෙම power එක වෙනස් වුණාට b තියෙනවා. එතකොට අපේ තියෙන common factors තුන තමයි 3ab. ඊට පස්සේ අපි බලනවා මෙන්න මේ 3ab කියන තුනනේ අපිට මේ ගානේ දෙන්නේ. එතකොට a අතරින් what is the highest power of those? When we consider 3, what is the highest power of that? So if we consider 3, it's power 2. Right? If we consider a, it's a2. If we consider b, it's b3. That's the second step. Third is, then your answer is actually there right now. We write all these as a multiplication of each. 3 to the power 2, a2, b3, which is 9a2 b3. That's my answer. Right? ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. සිංහලෙන් ඇහුවත් කමක් නැහැ. මම ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් මෑන්නේ. ඉතින් ඔයාලට ඉංග්‍රීසි පේපර් එකක් එන්නේ අන්තිමට. සිංහලෙන් හිතන අපිත් මමත් එහෙමයි ගාන හදද්දී අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට සිංහලෙන් තමයි හිතන්නේ. ඉතින් එහෙම ඒ මට්ටමකට හැදෙන්න ඉතින් අර මුලින් ඉඳන්ම ඒ අධ්‍යාපනයත් එක්ක සෙට් වුණ කෙනෙක්ට තමයි. ඉතින් ඒ කොහොම නමුත් ගණන් වලදී වට භාෂාව ලොකු ගැටලුවක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. කලින් සිංහලයකට ආවන ඒකෙදිත් අපි මේ විදිහම ගණන් හැදුවා. ගානට ගාන තමයි භාෂාව. මේ ගණිතයම තමයි භාෂාව. ඒකට සිංහලද ඉංග්‍රීසිද කියන එක අදාළ නැහැ. හරි. LCM කොහොමයි හොයන්නේ? That's the way of finding the LCM of an given term, algebraic term, Right, we will move on to the sixth one. So the next question is, write x squared plus 11x plus 24 as a product of two factors. This is very simple, right? These are basics. So we'll go on to the sixth. So දැන් හිතන්න පැත්තට මේ වගේ ගානක් හරියට හැදුවා කියලා ඉතින් ගොඩ සතුට වෙන්න නැත්නම් එපා. මොකද ටිකක් ලේසි ගණන් මේවා. මුල් ප්‍රශ්න 6 අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ඔයා ගොඩ දාන්න ඕනේ. ෆස්ට් පාර්ට් එකේ මේ වගේ හරි සිම්පල් තින්කින් ප්‍රශ්න එන්නේ. ඕනෑට වැඩිය වෙලාව නාස්ති කරන ප්‍රශ්න එන්නේ. And one thing to remember, මේක ඔයාලගේ පේපර් එක ලියද්දි ගොඩක් වැදගත් වෙයි, විශේෂයෙන් ගණන් වලදී ඕනෙම අමාරු ප්‍රශ්නයකට තියෙන හරිම ලේසි උත්තරයක්. It's only a very simple answer for maybe it's the most complex thing you ever seen, but මේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට අනිවාර්යෙන් ඔයාලට තියෙන හරිම ලේසි තැනක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් අර ඕවර්තින්ක් කරන්න යන්න එපා මේ පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්න 6 10 කරගෙන යද්දි. විශේෂයෙන්ම පළවෙනි පිටුව. ඕනෑම කෙනෙක්ට කරන්න පුළුවන් විදිහේ ප්‍රශ්න ටිකක් තමයි දෙන්නේ. 11x plus 24 නේ? Right. මේක අපිට factors වලට කඩන්න කියලා කියන්නේ. Factorize this. So what's the thing we have to do? We actually discuss this in the Sinhala medium class as well for quite often. So I will just make it bit smaller because it seems to be like taking the whole whiteboard. Yeah. So okay, so the first thing is, this is called a quadratic equation, right? The first thing is that. So when you see this kind of an equation, the first thing you have to look forward to is this middle number. Will number on this middle term, 11x. In here it's 11x. So we have to find out this 11. We have to find out two numbers. It could be minus numbers, it could be either pluses, or it could be one could be minus or one could be plus, vice versa. This is plus and this minus. Anyways, right? Doesn't matter. We have to find out two numbers that the addition of these two numbers should be equal to plus 11 with this plus sign, plus 11, right? Not just 11, right? The addition of those two numbers should be plus 11. So if this was another like minus 11, it should be equal to minus 11. In this question, it's plus. So we have to move forward in that way. Should be plus 11. And then that same numbers, that same set of numbers, this is actually two numbers. When you multiply those two numbers, it could be the plus numbers, it could be the minuses, doesn't matter, right? It could be plus and minus. The multiplication of this two numbers should be equal to plus 24 with this plus sign as well, right? Plus 24. Wait, I will use a different color. Plus 24. Right? Understood? Okay. මොකද දැන් මම මේ ටික ආයේ මම කරනවා numbers දෙකක් බලන්න ඕනේ. numbers දෙකේ එකතුව ධන 11 වෙන්න ඕනේ. සහ ඒ numbers දෙකේ ගුණිතය නැත්නම් multiplication එක 24 වෙන්න ඕනේ. හරි? අපි නිකන් බලමු 11 වෙන numbers. What are the numbers that will the addition of two numbers will give 11? So you could take 6 plus 5, right? And you could take 13 minus 2, right? But the multiplication is minus 26. අපි ධන positive number එකකුයි negative number එකකුයි multiply කරාම negative දෙන්නේ. මෙතන එතකොට තේරෙන්න ඕනේ මේ මෙතන තියෙන +24 නම් අනිවාර්යෙන්ම එක්කෝ මයිනස් වැලියු දෙකක් නැත්නම් ප්ලස් වැලියු දෙකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. ප්ලස් and මයිනස් දෙකම වෙන්න බෑ. one thing. ඒ වගේම මෙතන +11 තියෙන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක මයිනස් වැලියු දෙකක් වෙන්න බෑ. එහෙනම් ප්ලසස්. හරි. එතකොට අපි තියෙන මොනවද? 6 ධන 5 11යි. හැබැයි 6 වරක් 5 30යි. හරියන්නේ නැහැ. 7 ධන 4 ගත්තොත් 7යි 4යි 11යි. හැබැයි 7යි 4 වැඩි කරාම 28යි. 8 වරක් 3 8 වරක් 3 ගත්තොත් 8යි 3යි 11යි. ඒ වගේම 8 වරක් 3 24යි. සෝ එතකොට ඒක තමයි අපේ නම්බර්ස් දෙක වෙන්නේ. මම මේක අයින් කරනවා. right right මේක දැන් තේරුණානේ. එතකොට අපි නම්බර්ස් දෙක දැන් ලියා ගන්නවා. හරි සිම්පල් ලා. මේවා ලොකුවට මෙහෙම හිත යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඉබේම හැදෙන්න ඕනේ ගණන්. so 8x අපි යන්නේ x එක්කම තමයි ඒක ලියන්නේ right සහ 3x 24 මේක ඉතින් ඊට පස්සේ ඔයාලට ෆැක්ටරයිස් කරගෙන යන්න තියෙනවා. එතකොට එනවා මෙතනින් x එකක් එළියට ගත්තම x plus x plus 8 plus මෙතනින් 3ක් අපි එළියට ගමු. 3 ගත්තොත් x plus 8. එතකොට x plus 8 කියන්නේ common factor. එතකොට x plus 8 x plus 3. ඔයාලට ඉතින් මේ 8යි 3යි ඒවා හොයාගත්ත කියන්නේ කෙලින්ම ඕනනම් උත්තරේ ලියන්නත් පුළුවන්. right clear නේ right first page එක ඉවරයි. හරි so මේකේ take away එක තියෙන්නේ අපි how are we going to analyze an quadratic equation. That's the take away from this question. So you have to find out the theory or the pattern of thinking these kind of questions. නැන්ද තියෙන ඉලක්කම එන්න මොන ඉලක්කම් දෙක එකතු කරාමද එන්නේ කියන එක බලලා ඒකම මල්ටිප්ලයි කරාමත් ඒකේ තියෙන ඒ quadratic equation එකේ අන්තිම නම්බර් එක එනවනම් things are sorted. right 7 graph එකක් තියෙනවා. if AD equals BC, they have given that in the graph as well. AD equals BC and DAB equals ABC. මෙන්න මේ angles දෙක equal වෙලා කියලා කියනවා. In the figure, name the pair of congruent triangles. Name the pair of congruent triangles. Name the case of congruency. Right? How do we analyze this? So as the same as in the previous questions, I will while I am doing this, I will quickly explain the theory part as well. So we have given these sides are equal, A, B, C, D, and this is the equal angles. So what's the finding of this? You could see a common line here for both those triangles. There are two triangles. First thing you have to find out is that there are two triangles. One is ABD, this one, and there is another one ABC. A D B and this is also A B C. Here the same AB line here for the both triangles. So what are the factors we have? This and this is equal, and as a data of this question, these lines are also given as equal, and this these sides are equal, and this angle is equal, which means one angle and two sides are equal. One side is equal. I mean, equal means, yeah, equal, and one angle is equal, and also one side. We say this, no? SAS. Pakopa, Singhalen කියනවා. Right. The whole question is solved. So what are the congruent triangles then? A, B, C. Why this is congruent? Two sides are equal, and also one angle is equal. If any of these, either of these is not given, or we cannot find out if any of these are not applicable for this, then it's not congruent. So there are quite a few ways of finding this. I mean, the type of congruence. This is SAS, and also we can find out that in a triangle, if the true triangles, their sides, all sides are equal, we call it side, side, side. All sides are equal. And this is the other one, side, angle, side. And the what's the other one? Two angles are equal, and one side is equal, right? Likewise, those are the three patterns of it. So two angles are equal, and one side. Right? Those are the ways of types of congruency. Sorry, I missed one part. The other one is we have another one for rectangles as well. So we write down that as RHS. Right angle, hypotenuse, and side, which is basically there is a right angle hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse which we call this one. This is a right angle one, and another side is equal. If another side is also equal, then this is also congruent. So what are the congruent triangles then? ABC and ABD triangle and ABC triangle. And then what's the type? Side, angle, side. Right? Simple ones. Eighth, shade the region of A intersect B dash in the given Venn diagram. That's the eighth question. Hope this is clear. Please, if there is any doubts, mention that in your comment box. Shade the region of A intersect B dash in the given Venn diagram. Now you could see there's a Venn diagram, and shade the region. Venn රූප සටහන් කියලා මේක සිංහලෙන් කියනවා. Venn diagrams. Simple, right? Then when we are going to this Venn diagrams කියනකොට මම මේක මෙහෙම තමයි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් Venn diagram සමහරට මේක scenarios තුනක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මෙතනදි කියලා තියෙන්නේ scenarios දෙකයි. scenarios දෙකක් එක්ක තියෙන Venn diagram එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. මෙහෙම A B කියලා දාලා තියෙනවානේ. They have written this as AB, right? And there is this side. So very simple thing in this kind of Venn diagram. So අපිට මේ හිතමුකෝ දැන් මේ ක්ලාස් එකේ විතර ඉන්නවා අපේ කීප දෙනෙක්. ඉතින් මේ ක්ලාස් එකේ ඉන්න ළමයි කියලා අපි සලකමු මේ මෙන්න මේ circle එක. We think A is the students who are in this meeting currently right now, in this meeting. And if we think B as who are the students who are not focused to this, maybe doing something else, right? Or maybe sleeping, we will just think like that. Right. Maybe just maybe having a good sleep. So then this means the students. This means sleeping. So this area intersect means actually the students who are in the class and also sleeping, right? This whole scenario is we could consider as this is from this sign is called this whole scenario, the whole Venn diagram. So that could be the students who are registered to this online seminar series, online paper discussion series. There could be around maybe 1,000 or 2,000 or I don't know, that kind of a value. Out of that, currently there will be around, we just think for this as an example, 50. Out of that, there are sleeping people of, there could be 100, right? So the intersect means, if we think in this example, දැනට පන්තියේ ඉන්න සිසුන් සහ නිදාගෙන ඉන්න කට්ටිය. පන්තියේ ඉන්න සිසුන් සහ ඒ පන්තියේ ඉන්න සිසුවෙක් වෙන්නත් ඕනේ, නිදාගෙන ඉන්නත් ඕනේ. He should be a student of the class and also he should be sleeping. And එතකොට මෙතනින් එහාට ඉන්න කට්ටිය ඉන්නේ මොකද මේ ඒරියා එක ඇවිල්ලා he or she is sleeping but not in the class right now, but he or she is already registered to this seminar series, but he is not in the class, but he is having a good nap or a good sleep after his that person's lunch. And the other area could be, and the other area would be they are not sleeping right now, but this we will reject this A circle. This other outer circle area means they are not sleeping, but they are not in the class as well, right? දැන් මෙතන පන්තියේදී එහෙම කට්ටිය වැඩි. තේරුණානේ? එතකොට එහෙම තමයි අපි Venn diagram එකක් හිතන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මෙතනදී අපිට තියෙන්නේ අහලා A intersect B dash. A intersect B dash. මේක දන්නේ නැද්ද? මේක දන්නවන්නේ කියවන්නේ මේකේ sign එකේ definition එක intersect කියන එක. And මේකේ intersect. ඊට පස්සේ A මෙහෙම තියනවනම් හරි ලේසි union. මේ U අකුර වගේ. Union කියන්නේ kind of like those both scenarios are happening at the same time. This is both scenarios දෙකම වෙනවා. නමුත් අර ඒ කියන්නේ දෙකම දැන් හිතන්නකො මෙතන අපි මෙතන A union B කියන එක අපි consider කරොත් එහෙම students ලවත් අපි ගන්නවා ඒ වගේම ඔක්කොම නිදාගෙන ඉන්න ළමයි ටිකක් ගන්නවා. හැබැයි intersect එකෙන් කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ ස්ටුඩන්ට් කෙනෙක් ඒ කියන්නේ දැන්ට ඉන්න ස්ටුඩන්ට් කෙනෙක් වෙන්නත් ඕනේ. එයා නිදාගෙන ඉන්නත් ඕනේ. හැබැයි අපි යුනියන් එක ගනිද්දී එයා නිදාගෙන ඉන්නවා වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. මේ මොකද ස්ටුඩන්ට් කෙනෙක් වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. හැබැයි මොනවද මේ වෙලාවේ සම්බන්ධ නොවුන පිරිසක් ඉන්නවා. නිදාගෙනත් ඉන්න ඒ පිරිසක් මෙතන ඉන්නවා. vice versa. okay. දැන් මෙතන තියෙන්නේ B dash. එතකොට අපි දන්නවා A intersect B කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ ඒරියා එක. We identified that. So I think That's the question, right? අපි මුලින්ම මේක අමතක කරමු. මේක ඔයාලට චුට්ටක් පැටලෙන්න හිතනවා ඔබ. right. අපි ගමුකෝ මුලින්ම A කියන එක. අපිට මේකනේ තියෙන්නේ හොයන්න. මුලින්ම Venn diagram එකේ පොඩි Venn diagram එකක් අදිනවා. ඒකේ A කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? මෙන්න මේ ඒරියා එක නේ. right. A. B කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? මේ ඒරියා එකනේ. B dash කියන එකෙන් මීන් කරන්නේ B ගේ B ට අයිති නැති ටික. Or maybe the thing in this scenario the students which is totally not sleepy. මූඩ කතා කරපු example එකක් ගත්තොත් එහෙනම්. නැත්තම් B ට අයිති නොවන කොටස. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? මෙන්න මේ සම්පූර්ණ එක නේද? B ට අයිති නැහැ මේ එකක්වත්. The whole thing, right? Now we have to see what happens if we overlap these two, right? මම මෙන්න මේක ඇවිල්ලා මේකේ උඩින් තිබ්බොත් එහෙම මෙන්න මේ පොඩි අඬහඳක් වගේ තියෙන කෑල්ල කව වෙනව නේද? මෙන්න මේ ඒරියා එක පොඩ්ඩක් අඳුරුම වෙලා යනවා නේද? මෙතන තියෙන්නේ ඒ ඒරියා එක. ඊට පස්සේ මෙතන තියෙන්නේ B dash එක. මේ දෙක මුඩි එකට එක තිබ්බොත් එහෙම මේ ඒරියා එක තමයි කවර් වෙන්නේ. So the answer is හරිනේ? Yeah, right. අපි යන් ඊළඟ එකට ABCD is a parallelogram. Among the statements related to this parallelogram, mark correct in front of the correct statements and X or maybe the cross in the front of the incorrect segments. හරියකුයි වැරදිකුයි දාන්න ඕනලු හරි වැරද්ද බලන්න. Right? We quickly go through with this. දැන් මේ parallelogram එකක් කිව්වොත් කිව්ව ගමන් we have to get into our we should have this understanding of this parallelograms when you see it, right? දැක්ක ගමන් එන්න ඕනේ වෙඩි වගේ what are the factors that or what are the theorems that involves with an parallelogram. So the things which are given for us is they are asking whether AB is equal to BC, and they are asking another one AC, whether AC is equal to BD, and another one is DAB, whether DAB is equal to what do you call DCB, right? So this is the question. When you see a parallelogram, there are very simple things we have to understand. First thing is, if this I think this is we have to at these corners, and then we have to understand that in a parallelogram the opposite sides are equal and parallel. Opposite sides are equal and parallel. එක 1 point එක. අනිත් point එක තමයි opposite angles equal වෙනවා. opposite angles කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ angle එකයි මේ angle එකයි equal වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම මේ theta කියලා theta angle එකයි මේකයි equal වෙනවා. opposite angles equal. right? අනිත් එක තමයි මෙන්න මේ අපි මේවට කියන corresponding angles කියලා. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒකට තව වචනයක් තියෙනවා consecutive angles. නැත්නම් corresponding angles. right? මෙන්න මේ angle එක ළඟින් තියෙන්නේ. We call them corresponding angles. right? corresponding angles, corresponding angles, sorry, this not the way I should be doing this. When you add up these corresponding angles, the sum of those corresponding angles should be 180 degrees. That's another theorem. Equal to 180 degrees. Right? So these are the things, and then what do we have to find is we have wrote down. So yeah, AB equals BC. AB equals B. What is sorry? It's DC, right? Sorry, this should be D. Correct, right? The opposite sides are equal and parallel. So the first one is correct. AC equals BD. What is AC? The diagonal. The diagonal. Diagonals actually do not typically get equal, but if it's equal, it's basically a square. In a square, the diagonals are equal, or the other line both are equal. But in normal parallelogram, we cannot say directly that the diagonals are equal. So it's a false. DAB equals DCB. The opposite angles are equal in a parallelogram. Answer is this. Right? Clear? Those are the points which we have to get into our mind when we see a parallelogram. Now, in the future, when you are facing your exams, opposite sides are equal and parallel, opposite angles are equal, addition of corresponding angles equal to 180 degrees. Right? Okay. That's the 9th. 10th. Find the gradient of the straight line AB. Find the gradient of the straight line AB. Straight line is given find the gradient of it. This is y, this is x, and we have given this point as A, this point as B, right? So find the gradient. Very simple, no? First we have to see this is the given straight line, and actually they have given all the data which we have. We don't need to go further beyond this. අපි මුලින්ම බලනවා මෙන්න මේ B point එකේ coordinates මොනවද කියලා. How do we find the coordinates? We, from the point of here, we will draw a straight line down towards this. So it is given as 2. This is the x value, right? So we first write down that 2. We put on a bracket 2, and then see after that we see where it intersects with the y axis. It's 3. So the coordinates is 2, 3. For A, x is actually at 1. Y, it's 0, right? So these kind of graphs we call y equals mx plus c type of graphs. So out of those, so this m actually stands for the gradient. C actually stands for the intercept. So here intersect is at this area, no? Sorry, intersect should be the point which this graph of the line cuts off this y-axis. So here we do not need to further calculate the intersect. We just have to find out the gradient. So gradient m is equal to change in y divided by change in x. We could write this further as delta y by delta x. This actually means change of y. So here was a 1 point, and then it has gone to this point. This is a straight line. They have given that. So the straight line, once it was in point A, then it goes to the point B. So what is the change of the y-axis? Y was at 0, and then it was gone to 3. Or you could think otherwise as from the other side as well. It was in this point and gone to here. Y was at 3 and it goes to 0. So the change is what? It was at 3 and gone to 0. Change, we reduce the corresponding coordinate, y coordinate. Change of x, change of x, 2. We consider 3 from the B point. So the x also should be starting from the B point, right? අපි මේක ගනිද්දි හරියට A B වලින් පටන් අරගෙන B ගෙන් A අඩු කරනවා නම් යටත් A විදිහටම B ගෙන් A අඩු කරන්න ඕනේ. හරි? A B පටලව ගන්න යන්න එපා. So what's the value? 3. Here 2 minus 1 is 1. 3. Gradient is 3. Clear, no? ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද මෙතෙක් වෙනකම්? නෑනේ. තියෙනවා නම් දාන්න. Okay. Solve 1 by x minus 2 equals 1 by 1, or it's half. මේවත් අපි සමහරලාට පටලව ගන්න ඕවර්තින්ක් කරලා. දැන් තවත් අය ඉන්නවා මෙහෙම එකක් දැක්ක ගමන් පොඩ්ඩක් බය වෙනවා. sorry -2 නේ. x -2 equals half. මොකක්ද ඉතින් අයියෝ මේක නම් හරිම ලේසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නේ. First thing we do is we there is -2 and we add a +2 for both sides. +2 and for here also a +2. To get rid of this -2, I added +2 for both sides. And then here -2 +2 it's 0, so only this term remains. And this here 2 plus half. දෙක ධන භාගය කීයද? දෙක හමාරයිනේ. So දෙක හමාර කියන එක we could write as this, no? Okay. Then cross multiply x equals 2 by 5. There is no such a huge takeaway in this simple solving. If A is equal, this is a given set A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the set A. And A intersect B is 1, 3, 6. Right? And A union is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Write the set B. Now in these kind of questions මේකත් අර overthink කරගන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් ආයේ අර we try to tend to add these into the equations which we know. What are the equations which we know? This is the famous equation. A union B is equal to A set plus B set minus A intersect B. This is the famous equation we know, right? ඕක දාලා හදන්නත් පුළුවන්. ඒක ඉතින් තේරුම් නැහැ මේ වගේ ගණක් හදන එක. right? මේක පොඩ්ඩක් හිතන විදිහ බලමුකෝ. They have given that A is the set A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. එහෙම තියෙනවානේ. මම දාමුකෝ 3, 4, 5, 6. right? And A intersect එක B එකේ තියනවලු 1, 3, 6. හරි? What does this mean? A කියන්නේ A කියලා කියන්නේ මම explanation එක කියන්නේ A intersect B කියන එකේ 1, 3, 6 තියනවා කියන්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ A ටත් common B ටත් common set එක නෙමෙයි. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි B කියන set එක දැන් හිතුවොත් එහෙම මේ values ටික අනිවාර්යෙන් තියෙනවා. 1, 3, 6 කියන එක අනිවාර්යෙන් තියෙනවා. හරි? ඒ වගේම අපිට දීලා තියෙනවා A union B කියන එක. A union B කියන එක 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 කියලා. Right? They have given that A union B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? අපි දන්නවා A කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ set එක. 1 to 6. Right? A කියන්නේ. නේ? A. ඒ අතරිනුත් B එකේ තියෙනවා. B කියන set එකේ තියෙනවා 1 එකක් තියෙනවා, 3 එකක් තියෙනවා, 6 එකක් තියෙනවා. A union B කියන්නේ එකේ ඉඳන් 8 වෙනකන් නම් එකේ ඉඳන් 6 වෙනකන් A එකේ තියෙනවා නම් සහ 1 3 6 දැනටමත් B එකේ තියෙනවා කියලා අපිට ඉන්ටර්සෙක්ට් එකත් එක කිව්වනම් ඊටු ටික මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? ඊටු ටික කියන්නේ මොනවද? මෙන්න මේ දෙක. ওই දෙක මෙතනට ඇඩ් කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. එහෙම හිතලා අපිට ගාන ටක් ගාලා හදන්න පුළුවන්. මේ සමීකරණට දාලත් ඉතින් හිතන්න පුළුවන් ඉතින්. මේ ටික එකේ ඉඳන් 8 වෙනකන් ලිව්වා. B තමයි අපි හොයන්නේ. ඒ ඉන්ටර්චේන්ජ් එක 1 3 6. එතකොට ඒ ටික අඩු කරාම වාට B ගේ උත්තරේ මේ විදිහටම ගන්නට එනවා. same thing happens. so මම මේ හිතන විදිහ කිව්වේ මේක හිතන්න ලොකු වෙලාවක් යන්නේ නැහැ කෙනෙක්ට. right? we'll move on to the next one. AB is a vertical tower on a horizontal ground. AB is a vertical tower on a horizontal ground. If the angle of elevation, there is a tower and this is the horizontal ground. Angle of elevation is this. Angle of elevation of P from Q is 35 degrees. And the angle of depression of C from A is 40 degrees. Represent the information given on the diagram. Oops. Neglect the height of the observer. මං හිතන්නේ මෙතන මේ diagram එක මිස් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒක මම හිතන්නේ diagram එක මෙතන මිස් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ හින්දා මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ පොඩ්ඩක් අපිට කරන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපි ඒක මම බලලා මේ අපේ හෙට සෙෂන් එකේදී මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ කරමු වෙනම. එතන diagram එකක් එන්න ඕනේ. Neglect the height of the observer. අපි ඒක මේ question එක we will discuss it tomorrow. We will 14 also the same given in the figure. Yeah, two figures are meant to be in these two questions. Unfortunately, the images are not there. So we will do those two questions on the upcoming or maybe tomorrow. Right. So unfortunately, we have to move on to the 15th question. Since the last two questions doesn't have the figures. So the 15th one is the first term and the sum of the first two terms of a geometric progression is 3 and 15. Right? Sum of two geometric progression is first term and the sum of first two is 3 and 15 respectively. Find the third term. Geometric, what do you call this? Progression. Geometric progression, right? I will just do a quick remind. Progression, there are two parts of progression for you. One is arithmetic progression and other one is geometric progression. So there are actually certain equations you have to keep on your mind when it comes to arithmetic. I will just note down quickly to find out any kind of a value of a certain term. You consider as a common term Tn. Tn is equal to a plus 9 minus 1 d. If you have to find out the fourth term, which means T4, A actually stands for the first term. First term. N is number of terms. D is in arithmetic one difference. So you know these arithmetics are like 2, 5, 8, which there is a common difference within a number pattern, right? And there is another equation for arithmetic progression, which is the addition of collective terms. So from here, Sn means 1 to n terms. Addition of 1 to n terms stands for n divided by 2 within the brackets 2a plus n minus 1 another bracket d. Within the bracket there is another bracket, right? This is just for you to get remember. Now that's the arithmetic. Geometric progression, we are going to do the question now. Geometric, what we are asked is we have given that first term. First term means what? T1, right? First term is actually equals to a, right? The value is 3. Third term, sum of the first two terms. Sum of the first two terms. Now you have to remember these equations. There are like 2-3 ways of representing the sum of geometric progression. One is Sn equals the first term a. The second term is ar, or if we go to the third term, it's ar square. Likewise. So in here we have only given two terms. Sorry. Here we have given only two terms. So which means I have to take this equation. I definitely know that you are well aware about the equations you have in your syllabus. So anyway, I just gave you a quick remind on that. And regarding this sum of the first two is we have to consider in this way. And here, what's the value of Sn? Actually, this is S2. It should be S2 here. Very sorry on that. Not N. Should be changed as S2. S2 is equal this. So S2 we have given the value. What is it? 35? No, 50. We have given the value for S2. 50 is equal to A. A is 3 plus AR. Yeah. AR. 3R. Right? So we could find the R. What does R stands for? Common ratio. Geometric equations කියන්නේ multiply එකක් එක්ක තමයි යන්නේ. Arithmetic කියන්නේ එකතුවක් තියෙන common එකතුවක්. Common addition එකක්. මේ කියන්නේ එකතු කර කර තමයි යන්නේ difference එක. මේකේ තියෙන්නේ අනුපාතයක් තියෙන වැඩි කර කර යන්නේ ratio. A common ratio. නැත්නම් මේකට කියනවා R කියන්නේ common ratio. හරි අපි R හොයනවා ඇති. 3i R equals අර විදියට මේ ප්ලස් 3ක් දෙපැත්තටම දාලා මම එක එලිම් එකපාර ලියනවා. ඊට පස්සේ R equals වෙනවා 3i R equals වෙනවා 12ට. එහෙනම් R equal 3. right? එතකොට අපේ third term එක වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? T3. නැත්නම් අපි commonly බලන්නේ Tn කියන එකනේ. Tn ගන්නෙ කොහොමද? Tn මේක equation එකක් ඇතුළ මම මෙතන දාන්නම් ඒක. අනේ මෙතන ඊට මදි. Tn equal වෙනවා a වතාවක් r n ඍණ 1. මෙතනදී නම් t 3 සමාන වෙනවා 3 multiplied by R, which is another 3. N is 3 minus 1, which is 2. So, right now, R is 3. Hari ni. 12. Yuk. 27. That's the answer. Right. So the key takeaway is on geometric progression, when two facts are given, the one term is given, the first term is given, and the sum of two terms were given, and we recapped the equations for terms and also the sum of the terms, addition of the terms. So that's the key takeaway of this question. Right. We will move on to the next one. Solve the inequality x plus 3 less than or equal 5. X plus 3 මෙයාර මුල්ල x के පැත්තට තියෙනවා නම් ඒ left side එකට තියෙනවා less than or equal 5 කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ. Less than or equal 5. And write the set of positive integral solutions. Just a second. Right. We'll move on to the whiteboard. 16th. So we have given an inequality. What is that? X plus 3 less than or equal 5. So we have to be very careful when we are solving inequalities. We have to be very careful on our every step. The simple thing is, if we do something to the left side, we have to do the same for the right side, as we did on the previous question as well, right? When there is a equal. So, but in this, we have to be very careful of that. That's the only thing, right? So, we will write down this plus 3, and I want to get rid of this 3. So, I will add minus 3 for the both ends, right? Less than or equal 5 minus 3. So here 3 to 3 get cancelled. Here 5 minus 3, it's 2. Sorry. So x less than or equal to. What does this mean? X less than or equal to. So x could be either 2 or less than that. If I represent this in a number line, and just draw like this, a short number line, just for further understanding for you. Here given x is less than or equal. They have given that equal. So we could, if you have given to draw this in a number line, you have to draw a dot in the number 2. Here itself, it's number 2. You have to draw a number 2. If it's just only the inequality sign or less than sign, then you have to draw, not add a dot. You have to add a circle around the 2. Right? In this instance, It's just add a larger dot at number 2. Less than. උල තියෙන්නේ මේ පැත්තට නෙමෙයි. The corner is to this side, no? Which means the minus side. If the corner is to x side, which means the x is going to the minus end. Think like that. If the x gets the corner, it is basically to the minus side. If x gets the larger side, which is basically the plus side, which is to that side. In this scenario, it's the corner is on the x side, so it means it's the minus end. So here is the number. If we add in number line, this is how it comes. So the question which we are asking is positive integral solutions, right? The set of positive integrals. What does this mean? Write down the positive integers. That's all. So what are the positive integers for this? You know 2 is there, 1 is there, then it's 0, it's not a positive one, then it's minuses, no? So which means only 1 and 2. So your answer is 1, 2. Positive integral. This is the answer, right? Okay. We'll move on to the next one and we will finish this bit quickly now. Yes. The next question is find the value of x according to the data of the circle with the center O. This is a very bit of a complex questions which most of the student doesn't see well. So මේ ගානේ අතරම එක තියරම් එකයි තියෙන්නේ. ඒ තියරම් එකම තමයි මේ ගානේ පාවිච්චි වෙන්නේ. මම ඉතින් පොඩ්ඩක් ලොකුවට දාන්නම්. We discussed this actually in the Sinhala medium class as well. So here's the O and the graph itself given as this is the graph, right? So we have given this the angle which is intersected with the center as 80, and this angle is given as 60, and we have to find this. This is a actually this is a one theorem that actually most of us tend to miss out. Consider these 2 points. I am going to explain the theory, right? So if you consider these points intersect and make an angle at the center of this circle, right? These 2 points, when we draw 2 lines, straight lines from these 2 points, and both those lines intersects at the center O, which makes an angle, right? For our easiness, we will take this as ABO, right? And those same points make an angle with the point C, which is in the circumference of this circle, right? There is a theory that this is actually spelled as the angle subtended at the center, angle which is subtended at the center. You see, subtended at the center is twice the angle of the angle which is subtended on the circumference. වෘත්ත කේන්ද්‍රයේ මත ආපාතිත කෝණය වෘත්ත පරිධිය මත ආපාතිත කෝණය වෙන දෙගුණයක්. That's the Sinhala one. So the English one is the angle subtended onto the center of the circle is twice the angle which is subtended at the circumference. We consider if this is given 80, then this angle is what? 40. Half of this. මේක වගේ මෙතන මේ පරිධිය මත මේ sorry circumference එකේ හදන මේ angle එක වගේ දෙගුණයක් වෙනවලු center එකේ හදන angle එක. ඉතින් මේක 80යි නම් එතකොට ඒකෙන් භාගයක් නේද මේක වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ 40යි. Right? 40 degrees. ඒක 40යි කියලා හොයාගත්තා නම් මේක 60යි නම් අපි නිකන් හිතමු මේක D කියලා point එක. AD B triangle we will consider. We know this is 40, this is 60. Then what is the sum of the angles of the interior angles of a triangle? It's 180. So 180 will be equal to 60 plus 40 plus, which is I will straight away add as 100 plus, this is what? CDB. CDB. So the I found out that CDB is 180 minus 100, which is 80 itself. Oh, this is equal to 80. Then, what do you call these angles? There's a nice name for that. Right? We call this vertically opposite angles. This is vertically opposite angles, not just opposite angles. These are called vertically opposite angles. I'm talking about this, right? This is now 80, and these two angles. So these two angles are equal, which means this angle is also 80. These are two straight lines. Right? And then this is 80. This is 80. The next is how much? If we consider AOD triangle, the same thing. Interior angles are 180, which means you know this is 80 and also this is 80, which is total the sum of 160. I consider these angles, right? And we wrote down that plus x, which is then x equals to 20 degrees. Clear? Right? The theorem is the main part of this. I will just write down it quickly. I mean, remind you that theory quickly. The angle subtended from 2 points, the angle subtended towards the center is twice the angle subtended towards the circumference. Right? Then when you see this kind of a maybe an image, this theorem should be in your mind. Should needs to come into your. It's compulsory to be in your mind. Right. We will go on to the 18th. Lower boundary, upper boundary. 51 to 60, 61 to 70, and 70 to 80 are few class intervals in a frequency distribution. Write down the lower boundary and the upper boundary in the interval of 60 to 70. So this is also a theory part that most of us tend to miss out. So you know this class intervals thing, right? So here it has given 51 to 60. There is a class interval, and 61 to 70 there is a one, 71 to 80 there is so on going on. So they are asking the lower boundary and the upper boundary for interval 61 to 70. When this lower boundary, upper boundary kind of thing is asked from you to answer, the simple thing is you have to consider either these two numbers, 60 and 61, the ending number of a one class and the on the next class starting number, or the same as to ending of this is 70 and 71. You have to either consider 60 61 or 70 71, right? Then I will just consider this 60 and 61, right? Now I'm going to find the lower boundary and upper boundary, right? First I am going to find, this is called a difference, right? But this value is going to be helpful for us to find out the lower boundary and upper boundary. So I will get these two values, the 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 corresponding lower level of the, I mean the first number of the second class is 61, and before that class it ends with 60. I write down this as this 61 minus 60, and I divided it by 2, right? And I will get a value that 1 by 2, which is 0.5. So to write down the lower boundary, it will be, now we are considering this one, no? 61 to 70. Lower boundary is 61 minus 0.5, which is 60.5. What's the other one they're asking? Upper boundary. Upper boundary is calculated as, we get the value 70 and add this 0.5. How we got this 0.5? We consider these kind of numbers, the last number of a class and the first number of the corresponding class, and we deduct the corresponding class first number with the last one and divide it by 2. That's how the 0.5 value comes into play. And then what's the value? 70.5. That's the answer. This is a small thing that we tend to most probably get forgotten. Right. And there is this man days question, no? Oh no, sorry. Probability. Find the probability of a male get down in the next bus called from a bus with 7 males and females, 6 females. Find out the probability. It's also a simple thinking question in here. So we actually found out as complex question was the 17th one. Only quite few, no? So this is the nature of the first part. So out of these 25 questions, most probably 18 to 17, you could definitely get the full marks for that if you write the correct steps and also do the accurate thinking for that and answer the question accurately with using less time for that. Yeah, we will go to the 19th, and soon we will be finishing this off. Then find the probability of male get down from the next bus called from a bus with 7 males and 6 females. Now there are, I will consider them male. There are 6, no? Sorry, 7. Females there are 6. So altogether there are 13. Out of that 13, what's they asking? Find the probability of male getting down the next bus home. So there are 13. Out of that, there are 7 males. Then the probability of it's a very simple question. I think the easiest one. So there are 13 people. Out of them, there are 7 males. So there are 7 possible chances out of 13 to the next person who will be getting down from the bus will be a male. So the probability is 13 out of 7 or 7 by 13. It's a very simple question. I think you all may have got it correct. And I think there is another question on geometric progression. The first term and the third term of geometric progression are 8 and 32 respectively. Find the common ratio of the progression. What's the first term of it? How do we write the first term as T1? T1, and rather we could use the letter A. What's the first term of it? 8. And we have given the third term of a geometric progression, we write down as T3. In the terms of geometric progression, how do we write that? A R 2. Actually, A R n minus 1, right? That's the common thing. I mean, the common equation. When n is equal to 3, then this comes, right? This is given as 32. So what is this? Simple division actually, not multiplying. Find the common ratio. Then we will just take this T3 itself. T3 is equal to 32, and A we know it's 8, and R we know that's the one we have to find out. R squared is 32 divided by 8, 4. So R is equal to plus or minus 2. Why I wrote that? This actually comes into R as root 4, no? So either it could be minus 2 multiplied by minus 2 or plus 2 multiplied by plus 2 itself. But here R cannot be negative because the tendency is going with positivity. So however, the answer should be as written as this. It could be either this plus or minus. Actually, out of 3 or 2 terms, we cannot straight away give an indication of that. So we have to write the answer as plus or minus 2. Right? Only another 2 questions. And there is this man days questions. We will go through quickly. A building AB, sorry. This one. No. Oh, this is also the figure is not given. So please neglect the 21st question for now. We will discuss that tomorrow. We'll go on to 22nd. Based on the information in the figure, find out the value of x. That's the same theory which we discussed in the previous one. I will just write down here. So it's the same theory which we discussed previously. So this is the angle, right? This is the points. This is the 2 points. Sorry, just write down here. This is the 2 points, and this is the angle which makes with the center, and this is the angle which makes with the circumference. So what's the theorem? When the 2 points subtended with the center, that subtended with the center, and that angle is twice the angle of the subtended angle of the circumference. So if it is 20, these angles will be 40. And also, if we consider this DB and BC, this is the same points and this is the same circumference. So this angle itself actually becomes 20 degrees as well. I think this is given as 50. So this is 20 and this is 50. So we can find out this angle. We know the interior angles of a triangle is 180. So which is 180 minus 20 plus 50, which is 70. So the value is 110 degrees. And these lines are what you get, this vertically opposite angles, this one and this one. So this is equal to 110. So this angle itself will be equal to 110 degrees. So we know when we consider this small triangle, I will make it bit large. So we found out this as 110. And this is the one which we are going to find out, x. And this is found out with the theorem, which was 40. This 110, right? 110, 40. So what's the value x? This is the same old interior angles of a triangle. So interior triangles, sum of the interior triangle angles of a triangle is 180. So 110 plus 40 plus 40 plus rather here, and x, which comes into a value 150, and yeah, and it's 30 degrees, right? And I will move on to the next one as well. We have only another 3 questions. There is a one wrong one in this 25th one, so I will not doing that question. I will see what's the wrong one in that 25th question, and I will do that on the next day. And the next question is ABCD and CDEF are two parallelograms. If the area of the triangle ABC is this is actually wrong, some technical error. This is 12.5 cm2, right? It should be like that. Find the area of the CDEF. Find the area of the CDEF. Now the real thing is they have given these are parallelograms, so we know that these are equal and these get also equal, and these are parallel, and we could see there is a one common side as well. So DC is common to both parallelograms ABCD and CDEF, which means, and also when we consider this ABCD parallelogram, we have given this ABC, which is the diagonal, AC is the diagonal of this parallelogram, and this area is 12.5 square centimeters, which means this area is also 12.5 square centimeters, which means altogether we get that value of ABCD parallelogram area we get as, what's the 12.5 multiplied by 2. There are two parts of it, no? Diagonal, which we discussed, actually couldn't discuss that point. A diagonal actually bisects and divide the parallelogram itself into two exact halves. So which means this part, if it's 12.5, this part is also 12.5, and the ABCD area will be 25 square centimeters. And there's an interesting find out that there's a common base for this. There's a common base and same parallel line. See, this is the same parallel line which is all together in the both parallelograms, and there is a one common base. When those two are in the same figure or in the same scenario, then those parallelograms are equal. Or because of that, parallelograms are equal. Right? So which means the CDEF, I will write down that in another color. CDEF is equal to this same 25 centimeters. And the final one. 8 men spends 9 days to complete a certain task. Find the number of days to complete the half of this task by 3 men. So this is man days. When we get these kind of questions, we write man, day, and man day as like this. Man days. The first scenario, this is the full task, right? For this full task to complete it, we get 8 men, 8 men spend 9 days, right? Which means altogether man days means man multiplied by the day. 8 multiplied by 9, which is 64, 72, right? And then we will see they are telling that to complete the half of the task. So the full task is 72 man days, which means half of the task is half of the 72, which is 36, right? And they said that they are given 3 men for that. So how many days? Basically 36 need to be divided by 3 days. So which is 12. Basic simple man days question. So unfortunately the 25th question, there is some mistake which we need to be rectified. So we will discuss that further on the next day. So this actually sums up the first part of the paper, but I think with this question and also some couple of other questions also which had some discrepancies, we will discuss both of all of them on the next day. Yes, so I think you gained a good idea about the first part, and hopefully we will meet up tomorrow as well to further discuss on the paper. So good night to everyone, and have a good day.